Hello, my name is Jason, and I am a previous strength and conditioning coach at Alibaba Sports Athlete Training Center at Shanghai. Currently, I am a strength and conditioning coach at Kita Sports Hub at Hong Kong, and as you can see on this page here, I am a certified strength and conditioning coach by NSCA, Exos and APAC of the United States. So my training sessions mostly focus on youth athletes and amateur sports players. So from the sports perspective, I mainly focus on basketball, soccer, and the racket sports like badminton and tennis. So today we're going to have a brief discussion about the training of youth athletes, especially within the age from 9 to 12. Actually, this stage is the learn to train stage, which comes from the LTAD model. It's a structured framework designed to optimize athletic performance in lifelong physical activity by tailoring different kind of training drills to the developmental stages of youth athletes. So the LTAD framework has been adopted and adapted by numerous national sports organizations worldwide, like the NSCA of USA. Actually, there are 7 stages covering our whole life for the development. So for example, from age 6 to 8 is the fundamental stage, and the 9 to 12 is the learn to train stage. So I have listed the 7 stages here for your reference. Today let's focus on the 9 to 12 learn to train stage. So the key objectives of this stage is to teach our youth athletes some sports specific skills and help them achieve general fitness. So when we talk about sport specific skills, it's kind of the capability of the linear speed and the change of direction, horizontal or vertical forces they can produce to the ground. When we do these drills, most of them are based on their body weight, or sometimes with very light load like band or medicine ball. But we have to mention that all these sports specific skills are on the macro level rather than only doing the movement skills of some specific sports. For example, like badminton or tennis, we do have the strong hand, but when we do all those kind of rotational power drills or kinetic chain drills, we should definitely do both sides. The weak side also needs to be trained, not only for comprehensive development purpose, but also for injury prevention. Another point is that some people think that running or jogging for miles could be enough for kids training, and the mindset is that just keeping them move is sufficient. But actually the fact is that if your kids are playing competition sports like basketball, football, soccer, or badminton, what they need is much more than just a long distance running. They need to be trained at high velocity and high power relatively to their own body weight. But we cannot ignore 2 of the key assumptions for starting training them at high velocity and high power. So that is about the fundamental movement and the stability of both core and lower extremity. So in my coaching philosophy, those 3 elements, the fundamental movement, stability and balance, high velocity and high power, would account for 70 to 80% of my training session. For foundation movement, you can see something like this. Actually, it's about basic techniques, not only including those running and jumping skills, but also about landing, braking, twitching, multi-directional movement with change of direction skills. And also we would teach them about squat, lunge, using hip hinge to get their glute and hamstring involved while doing sports. Something that could benefit them for the whole life of sports, whatever they choose for specialization in the future. It's like a foundation of a high rise and should definitely be treated with patience. For stability and proprioception improvement, you can see this. And I have to discuss more about this module, as these capabilities not only facilitate the power transfer from the ground to the ball or to the contact on the court, but also act as an ABRS. It's like a metaphor and the airbag restraint system to prevent our kids from injury. When you actually play on the court, anything could happen. Not every time you can land or break properly and perfectly on the court. So these capabilities could help you be less exposed to the risks of injury under such circumstances. For training of high velocity and power like this, we just teach them how to produce force to the ground and get themselves explosive. In the competition sports, you need to be faster than your opponent. Faster means not only the player but also the ball they hit. So they need to learn how to move faster and how to utilize the kinetic chain to maximize the power they hit on the ball. So we need to do a lot of sprinting, COD drills, medicine ball and band drills with about 80 to 100% speed. What we need is velocity and power and a light load. It's about teaching the nervous system to maximally recruit their existing muscles. So we have talked about the 70 to 80% of the session. So what about the remaining 20 to 30%? For me, I would like to program some agility and reaction drills because 9 to 12 is the key window period for nervous system development. When we train the kids to coordinate at high agility scenarios, their synapses in their brains are gonna grow to adapt to higher velocity of information processing and in-time decision making just after they finish the training and sleep at night. So this would not only benefit the sports performance but also benefit the overall study and life performance. For 9 to 12-year-old youth athlete, we don't need the periodization, and our training intensity is always like at the in-season level. So probably we would recommend our youth athletes do 2 days of SNC training per week while spending 2 to 4 days on their sports training or games per week. And at this stage, they need to learn how to train and start to understand the logics of the movement drills, and also they need to learn how to absorb the skills learned on the training sessions and try to apply them on the court from intentionally to automatically. If you want to get your kids trained at the scientific methodology, or you're interested in such kind of topics of youth athletes SNC training, don't hesitate to follow my personal IG account as presented. So see you next time.